How you doing? This is Dean with Game. So you can see situational leadership was something this organization didn't have a whole lot of background in, and it affected production, affected morale a little bit, and so it's something that they would have greatly benefited from knowing. And so whether you're a leader or you're being led, whether you coach or you're being coached, or whether you teach or being taught, the fact of situational leadership is something you really want to have in your book and know, because it's going to really help you grow, improve, have ultimate production, and obviously your relationships will be stronger. And so we want to obviously break that down today. So you've probably heard that you don't lead a person the same way. Different people with whom you lead or have different personalities, different skill sets. You never lead everybody exactly the same way. And obviously that's very, very true. What situational leadership is saying is that you don't lead a certain individual the same way all the time. Based on not only their skill set, but a particular situation. So I want to break that down. And what that means is you're really going to lead somebody based on two things: their level of commitment and their competency level. And how you're going to approach that is there's a level of how much direction you're going to give them and how much support you're going to give them. So it's categorized in 4 different categories. The first one is what we call a D1. This is someone that has a very high level of commitment with a very low competency level. So that means they're a beginner. They're excited to learn something, but they have no experience in it, so their competency is very low. So the approach you take as a leader or coach is you got to give them a lot of direction and not much support. And what I mean by not much support is you can kind of look at it as whose idea is it. So what this format is what we call a dictating type of coaching. If you're a beginner in something and I'm just going to basically tell you what to do or show you how to do it, the support meaning I didn't really get your opinion on it. It was just I just showed you. The second level is someone that's D2. And at this point, their commitment's moderate and their competency level is moderate. So what I mean by that is their competency level is better than a beginner, but they still obviously have a lot to learn. They're not experts by any means. And their commitment sometimes goes down just because the shininess kind of wears off. When you're brand new to something, you're excited raring to go. At this level, they've had some time, so they may not be as excited as they were initially. Not a huge deal. So the approach there is they need a lot of direction and a lot of support. So again, what we mean on that support level is we have a conversation, we still do what I request, or I recognize or recommend. So this is what we call a coaching format. The next level is what we call a D3 level. This is someone that has their commitment may be lower, and when we say commitment, it's a little commitment and confidence. Their competency is very high. So this is a person that's very good, and maybe they've lost some confidence in that area. So you want to give them not much direction, but a lot of support. So meaning, again, in this realm, we have a conversation, and then you tell me what you're going to do, because my role was supporting you and letting you know how good you were in it and reminding you of it, not really telling you what to do. So that's what we call a supportive role or supporting role. And then the last is a D4. This is someone that's extremely competent and extremely committed. They're experts. So they don't need direction from you and they don't need support. So the direction and support is very low. So again, we didn't even really have a conversation. You just told me what you were going to do because you're good at it. And so this is what we call the delegating form of coaching. So if you look at my situation with the payroll company, I was a D4 in payroll fundamentals, and they wanted to approach it like it was a D1. Not real productive. Sometimes that can affect morale. You're not going to grow. You're not going to have the great production you want. Where I was a D1 was the nuances of the company and who to call for what, who handled service issues, that kind of thing. That's where we need a lot of direction and not a whole lot of support. And so you can see how that can really affect an organization or a coaching situation. If I were to coach Shaquille O'Neal in basketball, and it came to scoring the basketball and dunking, I wouldn't, he's a D4. So there's really nothing you'd have to do. However, shooting free throws, he's a D1. This is where we take a more directive approach and show him how to do it, because his skill set isn't quite there. If you look at sales today, we see the same thing. There are some people that are great in social media and technology. They're D4s, but they're not so good in building relationships, so they need a little more direction there. And then there's the folks that are the other way around, where they're great with personal relationships and maybe not with social media and technology. So you have to understand where they stand on that continuum to properly coach them. So do me a favor, share this with people either you lead or teach you, so you can get on the same language and have the ultimate growth and improvement you want and the production you want. If you have further questions, message me directly, call me. I'd love to share what I know about situational leadership with you to help you grow. Have a great day.